my opponent has snuck his Banshees into my main, and he's taken out my buildings, he's taken out the Hydralisk Den. The Nidus network has gone down as well. My drones are under attack right now, and I'm trying to bring my Corruptors in there to deal with this, but I have to kill the Vikings first to get to the Banshees. And I've really got to protect my main right now. All of my buildings, all my drones have gone down. My layer has gone down as well. And this is not looking good. My spawning pool is down. All of my tech buildings have gone down at this point. And all those Corruptors need to get those Banshees. They need to be faster. And unfortunately, a lot of the Banshees make it out of there. I was able to kill a couple, but oh, I'm so far in the hole right now. I've lost all of my tech buildings. I have to restart from scratch pretty much. Have to get a new spawning pool. All I've got left is the Baneling's nest right there, but I can't even produce any Zerglings to morph into Banelings, and this is pretty much do or die. I've got to push and make some kind of an offensive count right now, because the longer I wait, the more units my opponent will get. So I've got to push and do something right now. And here we go, a decent army of Hydras and some Corruptors in the air as well. But there are 2 bunkers there, and I'm not sure if I want to test that bunker. With only pure Hydras, those Banshees are cloaked to the right as well. This is not looking good for me at all. Those Banshees are just so fast, and the Corruptors are actually not really that fast. They're having a hard time keeping up with the Banshees, really. And I've got to get my Overseer over there to see these cloaked Banshees. And you guys can see the Corruptor slows down when it attacks, and it's almost as if I would have been better off with Mutalisks, which would have been able to chase off those Banshees right there, but the Corruptor's a bit slower here. And I'm trying to desperately rebuild my expansions. And I've actually got to rebuild my layer as well, seeing as how my original layer was taken out. I can't build any units right now except for Zerglings and Banelings at this point. So if you guys are wondering why my resource count is so high, it's because I have nothing to spend it on, really. And I don't know if you guys are getting this, but my screen is all glitching out right now a bit. Anyways, yeah, I'm really far behind right now. I am getting a couple of these supply depots down, but my opponent has got siege tanks, which are super effective against Hydralisks. And this is looking really bad. I've got to fall back. I'm going to try to push in with my small army of Corruptors to pick off a couple of these Banshees and thin their numbers out. But unfortunately, my opponent does have Marines on the ground, and oh, how I wish I could get some Broodlords out right now as the last game. But unfortunately, I have to re-tech up everything just to get my Broodlords, and it does require a hive, which means I need an Infestor's Pit to make the hive, to make the Greater Spire, and that is just so far away from where I'm at right now. Just now getting a new Hydralisk Den out. As you guys can see, destroying those rocks to the 3 o'clock, so I have easy access with my Hydras. And a smart move right here for me would have been to use the creep tumors or use the overlords to really spread some creep around the map so that my Hydras could move a little bit faster. So looking back on that game, that's something I definitely could have done better. And I think a lot of people have been suggesting me to do that, so that's something I'll definitely have to improve upon. But as you guys can see, all my queens have been taken down as well. And oh no, the Banshees are back. They just killed the Hydralisk Den I just erected. And my new hatchery is going to go down as well. And that is just so many Banshees. They do so much damage to buildings. And unfortunately, the Corruptors are not as fast as the Banshees. That is really quite a shame, because you'd imagine anti-air units would be one of the fastest in the game. They should be able to hunt down other air units and not be slower than them. But unfortunately, that is not the case. And oh, how I wish these air units could do some splash damage, but they're not. And it's almost as if I would have been better off building Mutalisks.
Our forces are under attack.
But anyways, I do see my opponent has captured his gold expansion. So I do have to try to take that out right now before he can get that up and running. Moving in with my Lings and Hydras, and I think I should be able to take that out. And the gold expo does go down, so some light at the end of the tunnel for the Zerg player here, myself. And there are those deadly Banshees again. Wow, picking off a Hydra almost instantly. But they definitely don't want to mess with that many Hydras for a long time. And a familiar sight here, seeing the hatchery being destroyed and the creep receding. Oh man, that's the second time my main base has been almost pretty much annihilated by those Banshees, and now I've got a lot of Corruptors in the air. So hopefully I should be able to defend against those Banshees if the time comes to it again. And I actually have to rebuild all of my Queens because the Queens were destroyed by the Banshees as well. And I'm moving to check on this 9 o'clock position just to make sure my opponent doesn't have a base there as I desperately try to rebuild. And yes, my opponent does have a lot of troops there. My Corruptors are first there to attack. They are killing the medevacs first, and now the siege tanks are sieging up. There's Marines on the ground, and all my Hydralisks getting taken out there by siege fire. And this is looking really bad for me. I've got to fall back with my Corruptors. But that is a very large Terran force right there, and my opponent this entire time has basically slowly built up a force of siege tanks that I can't really deal with at this moment. I don't have much units. I can't even build Hydralisk right now because the Hydralisk den has been destroyed twice now. And my opponent here is moving in for the kill, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do to deal with this. And if only I could have those Brute Lords from game 17 here. Morphing in a couple of Banelings there on the top as I realize my opponent is about to push in. And I know my opponent can't see those Banelings because they are on high ground. And my Corruptors get into the battle. And here we go, moving the Banelings into those Marines. And boom! All the Marines go down, but unfortunately I just don't have enough to deal with the siege tanks as well. And now my natural is under attack by siege tanks, Banshees, and Marines with medevacs to boot. And my natural goes down, so I believe that is pretty much it, and I call GG. So there it is, a loss to a very formidable player, Mr. Inkblot. So hope you guys enjoyed that game. That was a very, very intense match for me, having to deal with those Banshees. Extremely tough. So hope you guys stay tuned, and loss number 1 in 1v1 for HD Starcraft. Thanks a lot, guys. HD Starcraft signing out.